We used two of the most advanced AI models to create two characters. We will put them face to face. Their arguments will be evaluated by 5 independent AI models across multiple criteria, scored from 0 to 100. This is AI Debates. Is access to higher education a public good?
Look, education can be a public good when it actually teaches useful skills and lifts people up. But unlimited federal loans turned it into a private luxury good with public backing. We're subsidizing gender studies degrees at $80,000 per year private schools that leave grads bartending. That's not polio vaccine or interstate highways, that's a wealth transfer to universities and admin bloat. Real public goods benefit everyone: clean water, defense, basic research, K-12. Flooding cash into a system that triples costs and delivers 40% dropout rates isn't public good, it's corporate welfare for the higher ed cartel. If college were truly a public good, we'd fund it like public schools, free or cheap, high standards, and no blank checks for climbing walls. Right now it's a private consumption decision with a taxpayer credit card. Calling that a public good is just marketing to justify the next bailout. Yes, access to higher education is a public good. Educated citizens contribute to a stronger economy, innovation, and a more informed democracy. When people can pursue education without being crushed by debt, society benefits through higher productivity, civic engagement, and social mobility. Treating education as a public good justifies policies like affordable tuition and targeted debt relief, because the returns extend far beyond the individual to the broader community and nation.
Does the government have a moral duty to intervene in debt crises?
Look, no. The government has a duty to enforce contracts, not to rescue adults from contracts they signed with eyes wide open. You borrowed the money. The lender taxpayers kept it side. Walking away and sticking the bill on the nurse who never went to college isn't moral, it's theft with extra steps. The same logic would say the government must bail out every bad mortgage, every failed business loan, every maxed out credit card. We'd be bankrupt in a week. Moral duty: sure, protect people from actual fraud, fix the predatory schools, make sure borrowers get truthful info. That's it. Beyond that, personal responsibility isn't cruelty, it's the foundation of a free society. Start erasing consequences and you destroy trust, incentives, and eventually the whole system. Compassion that punishes the responsible is just politics wearing a halo. Hard pass. Yes, the government has a moral duty to intervene in debt crises when systemic issues like rising tuition, predatory lending, and unequal access to resources trap citizens in unmanageable debt. The state has a responsibility to protect economic security and fairness. Intervention through targeted cancellation or relief programs helps prevent harm, promote opportunity, and ensure that people aren't punished for pursuing education or striving for a better future. It's both an ethical and practical obligation.
Should education be treated like healthcare in terms of public support?
Look, no. Healthcare is a true need. You die without it. You can't opt out of cancer or a heart attack. Education is a choice. Nobody dies if they skip a $70,000 film studies degree. We already subsidize education more than almost any country. Pell Grants, state schools, tax credits, cheap loans. But treating college like Medicare means unlimited blank checks forever. Prices explode exactly like healthcare did when third-party payment took over. Healthcare costs skyrocketed once patients stopped feeling the bill. College tuition did the exact same thing once Uncle Sam guaranteed every loan with no limits. Want proof? Trade schools and community colleges stayed cheap because they don't swim in federal cash. For year universities and hospitals both doubled and tripled prices the minute the government said we'll pay whatever you charge. Education should be affordable and accessible, but treating it like an open-ended entitlement is how you guarantee $200,000 bachelor's degrees and another crisis in 10 years. We can't afford to healthcare systems. Stop before we build one. Yes, education should be treated like healthcare in terms of public support. Both are essential for individual well-being and societal prosperity. Just as we fund healthcare to ensure access and prevent harm, public investment in education through affordable tuition, grants, and debt relief ensures people can build skills without being trapped by financial burdens. Treating education as a public good strengthens the economy, reduces inequality, and benefits everyone, not just the individual student.
Is partial cancellation a step toward universal free college?
Look, yes, exactly. Partial cancellation is the camel's nose under the tent. First, it's just $10,000 for hardship. Next session, we already forgave once, why make them pay the rest? Then, it's cruel to lend at all, make it free. Every country that went down this road was Scotland, Germany. Now calls from California started with targeted relief and ended up with taxpayer-funded college for everyone, including the rich kid driving a new BMW. Free college sounds great until the bill hits. Another $800 billion to $1.2 trillion every 10 years, on top of the forgiveness tab. Prices still soar because demand is infinite when it's free. Europe's free systems ration seats, lower quality, and tax workers at 50% plus rates to pay for it. Partial cancellation isn't a compromise. It's the gateway drug to a permanent $1 trillion entitlement. Say no now or get ready to send your paycheck to every 18-year-old's tuition forever. Yes, partial cancellation is a step toward universal free college. While it doesn't make education free, it acknowledges that the current system is unsustainable and that students shouldn't be crushed by debt for pursuing learning. By easing existing burdens, we create momentum for broader reforms like tuition caps, increased public funding, and stronger financial protections that move us closer to a system where higher education is accessible and affordable for everyone. It's a practical, incremental step toward a fairer future.
Does debt forgiveness undermine the principle of personal responsibility?
Look, yes to 100%. You sign a contract that says I'll repay this money. You get the education, the degree, the higher lifetime earnings. Then you turn around and say never mind, make the plumber pay. That's not compassion, that's teaching an entire generation that promises to the government are optional and responsibility only applies until it gets hard. We don't bail out bad car loans, bad mortgages, or bad business decisions. Why is this one sacred? Because it's wrapped in diplomas and feelings. When you erase consequences for one group, everyone else learns the game is rigged. Next cohort borrows more, picks easier majors, expects round 2. Personal responsibility isn't some mean old-fashioned idea, it's the only thing that keeps a society from collapsing into everyone grabbing whatever they can. Forgiveness doesn't lift people up. It teaches them down is the new up. And that poison spreads fast. No. Debt forgiveness doesn't undermine personal responsibility. Borrowers took on loans in good faith, often under misleading or unavoidable circumstances, like rising tuition and predatory lending. Forgiveness recognizes systemic flaws rather than excusing irresponsibility. People are still expected to work, contribute, and manage their finances. But cancellation corrects an unfair system and allows them to participate fully in the economy without being permanently punished for pursuing education.